Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I'm so excited to be here with you today because I have a very, very special guest with me today. You guys, she's been here with me before. It's Tracy Mahan. Thank you for joining me, Tracy.
Hello. I'm so excited to be special and to be your friend and to have them put together. It's even so much better.
Yes,
Thank
you guys,
for
Tracy is definitely one of the most special people I know. And I feel special when I have this honor of having you on the show.
Aww.
So I'm really happy that you joined me today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so Tracy and I are together in the flesh. And so we thought this would be fun to get together and talk about this topic that has been coming up in my awareness. And, you know, when this happens, then I like to talk about it on the show. And also, synchronistically enough, this was posed as a question on the Facebook group as well after it had already come up in my awareness. So I thought, you know what, this is absolutely perfect. Chelsea, thank you so much for posting this question and posing this topic in the Facebook group, which is about toxic positivity or toxic spirituality. And what's interesting is when I first started to talk about this, I was wondering why I was mixing up positivity and spirituality. And this is why, because the question had both in here. And really they do go hand in hand because this is a spiritual journey that we're on here that does benefit us the most when we can take the positive perspective on things. And that's what we do here at the Positive Head podcast. And we love to provide that positive aura and atmosphere for you guys, especially when life is getting hard. But here's this thing. This is why this is coming up, this topic of toxic positivity, is because the idea of being positive, I think, has become misunderstood, or the concept of how to utilize it has become misunderstood. Right, Tracy?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with what we're going to touch on today. It's hopefully it'll become very clear for the rest of you what we're talking about. So, yeah, the toxic positivity. Let's dig into sharing with everybody. What exactly do we mean by that?
Yeah. And you guys, I honestly haven't read up on this. I watched the TED Talk and basically, you know, I'm not the psychologist who defined this concept, but I do understand this concept because I've been working in spirituality and talking about it for 20 plus years now. And so this is a concept that has been known for a long time, but hasn't really had a term. And I'm not so sure how much I love this term. And we're going to get into that too, because I don't like the word toxic for a lot of reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
and I also don't like the word toxic being combined with positivity or spirituality because it's just negating it. Okay. And so I want to unravel this and talk about this a little bit. Because people often misunderstand too. Oh, the Positive Head podcast, does that mean you're positive all the time and ignoring all the negative things? Absolutely not. That is not what being positive actually means. But this is what it can be misconstrued to mean. Mm-hmm. And I think that I see this happen in many different ways in different areas. Like we see it happen in our QHHT when we learned how to do our sessions. And I'm just going to say this analogy because I feel like it just makes sense and maybe you guys will understand it in this way. We learned a technique. We started practicing a technique. we started having some problems, and then we thought, oh, this technique isn't working right. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And then we start doing it more and learning more and starting to have more understanding of the technique. And then we realize, oh, it's not the technique that's not working. It's me. I'm the one that misunderstood it and I wasn't using it properly.
Not applying it the right way.
Yeah. So I think that this is the road that we've kind of come down on this topic. And so now we are at this place of coining a term of toxic positivity.
Right.
In this way of misunderstanding the concept of positivity. Does that make sense?
Keep unraveling it. It's all going to make sense here in a little bit. And everybody's going to finally go, oh,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what your thoughts are before I continue to drone on.
Well, as we were talking about it a little earlier, I do think that we get programmed in a certain way to respond. We're not supposed to have, you're spiritual. You need to be a very positive person, or, you can't get mad. I'm going to throw my ex under the bus for this one because he would do this when we would get in heated conversations, right? And we'd be, having a disagreement. I'll keep it light. A disagreement about something. And he would throw at me, oh, I thought you were spiritual. And it's
the gaslighting piece.
So I can't be spiritual and be upset, right? Because spiritual people are supposed to stay positive all the time. Right. And again, what is positivity, though? What is that? I was pretty positive I was upset. Does that count?
Pretty sure I feel this kind of way right now. Yeah,
I'm pretty positive I feel like this. But, you can be in a different mood. You can feel anger, sadness, hurt, pain, disappointment, and still be a spiritual person on a path. You don't have to. It's not Christmas every day, right?
Right. Absolutely not.
So it's I guess for me, it's really good to remind people we're human. We're here doing the human thing, and we're going to have the duality, and to stay as positive as you can about the duality. When something hits you hard, you're going to react to it. Honor that. Honor the fact that you're reacting to it. Honor the fact that it hurt your feelings or that it sent you down a path, and that because you're going to come out of that, you're going to come out of that victorious. I always see the phoenix rising and those things, right? And so I always get this image of the phoenix rising after you come out of a dark time or a hard time in life. And that doesn't take away from your spiritual path. That is your spiritual path.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And this whole concept kind of comes out of the idea that when people are in that burning stage, that real down in the depths of it and really suffering stage, when they're approached with, oh, just be positive, kid. And, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and you're going to be all right. And, be grateful that you have air to breathe and that the sun is shining today, kid. And you just want to punch them in the throat for saying that, honestly, when you're feeling like that.
You're not getting to process your feelings.
Because it's not, no one is hearing you when they're saying, and that's really when we are sad and something awful has happened to us like that, we just want to be heard. And so I feel like this is where the misconception in this concept has come. And when people have learned it, that this is great to be this way in life and to have this perspective. But it's not great when we're going through an immediate trauma or something just happened and these feelings need to be acknowledged and heard and sat with. I remember a time I was in college and I was really sad. I was just super depressed. There was nothing wrong. I just was super sad. And I just wanted to be by myself and I just wanted to be sad. I didn't want anybody to cheer me up. I didn't want to go do anything to make me feel better. I wanted to sit by myself and I wanted to listen to sad music in the dark with some candles, right? It's all because I just wanted to sit in my feelings.
Yeah.
Because when I feel that way, I don't want to feel any other way. I just want to sit in that feeling because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to experience all these feelings. That's why we're having them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my friends came over and they were like, are you all right? I mean, and they were so concerned. They didn't want to leave me alone. And I'm like, you're hindering me from doing actually my process, and really respecting other people's processes and not trying to change it. for them or change that perspective in that moment.
Again, I'm going to go back to that programming of fix it. You got to fix it. And so when we see somebody in trouble or hurting or sad or whatever, we want to jump in and fix it. We want to swoop in and make it better. But really, sometimes the part that makes it better is letting the person have that process, letting them be in that experience so that they can grow from it, learn from it, whatever it might be, so that they don't have to repeat it later, right? If this is a learning, something you set up in your life to learn from, then if somebody comes in and tries to cheer you up and you end up ignoring it, putting it aside, burying it, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it, then it's just going to come back later, and it's going to come back stronger, harder, faster, meaner, whatever.
Right.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. The concept for the book initially came to me in a dream and has been followed by a next level amount of synchronicity, confirming for me that the information in the book is pertinent to get to the world at this moment in our collective evolution. In the book, I share the 8 keys to manifesting abundance that I've personally discovered over 25 years of trial, error, and deep exploration, including one golden key that ultimately ties them all together. I think most of you will agree with me that talk is a bit cheap, especially these days, and results speak the loudest of all. Well, these keys have led me to manifesting incredible results, such as an Inc. fastest growing private company, uncanny health, incredible relationships, and success with this podcast. However, I'm not any more special than you, and anyone can apply this information to achieve incredible results in their own life. I also believe waking up our planet by sharing these keys to abundance is the quickest way to help us to transition our home into the planet of paradise it is destined to become, which is why I'd like to gift the book to you at goldenkey.gift when you use the golden key code POSITIVEHEAD. I would also like to invite you to create your own unique golden key code so you in turn can gift the book to others, as well as invite you to participate in a unique abundance manifestation game with me and the other readers that is outlined in detail at the end of the book and on the website, where readers are also going to share the inspiring results of their abundance manifestation experiments. Lastly, I'm going to practice what I preach by sharing 50% of the abundance generated from the golden game and sale of the other golden goodies on the website with you and all the other readers. So if you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD. Also, if you end up loving and appreciating your gifted copy of the book, please take a moment to go to Amazon and give it a review, which will greatly help me reach and unlock more hearts with the golden key.
And you just reminded me, we want to help so badly, and it's all good intentions, right?
Yeah.
But I think a really good point to remember is that sometimes our help is a hindrance. It's like that's hindering someone when we're really trying to do it for them, right?
Exactly.
People have to go through their journey on their own, and it's fine to sit there and be like, if you want me to be here, I'll be here. If you want me to leave, I'll leave. But know that I'm here and that you can call me and I'm listening. That's all anyone needs when they're in that space, and so back to this concept of toxic positivity. In a space where you're trying to make somebody feel positive when they just need to feel their feels, that's not beneficial to them. I wouldn't want to go as far as calling it toxic.
Right.
If it was a constant pattern in someone's life that you're dealing with this over and over again, then yes, that will cause disease. But know that there is nothing in this existence that is toxic to you. Nothing. I don't believe in that. I just don't. You are a being made of love. Oh, and here's another thing that we're going to get into because now it reminds me. You are a being made of love and light, and that is literally all that we are. And a lot of times this topic will come up around this idea. Oh, we're not all love and light. It's not all, unicorns and rainbows out there and there's bad things in the world. Yes. Yes, there are. Absolutely. On this 3D world, in this 3D realm, yes, we live in a dualistic reality.
Yep.
Where it's all of it. Yeah. And we have to look at all of it so we can learn, right? And move forward in our journey. We ignore it, we stuff it, we get disease, all those things, right? But when we talk about that everything is love and that's all that there is, what we mean is that from a higher dimensional perspective, that from where we came from our source, that is all that we came from. And so that is all that we can be. It's just, it doesn't look like that in our perspective. That's all. It just doesn't look like it.
Exactly.
All the time. Yeah.
Get that new perspective. Exactly. But, I think when we do that, when we allow ourselves to acknowledge what's showing up in our world, what's showing up in our reality. My reality is different than Erica's reality, and so when I'm looking, we're both sitting here in the same room and I have a different view than she does. I'm looking at a different wall than she has. And so my experience here is different than hers is. We're sitting in a nice warm space. And I came from Oregon where it's a little chillier and today I'm acclimating to weather that she's already acclimated to.
Yeah.
I mean, our experiences are going to be different. We're experiencing things from a different world. Why are we attracting what we attract into our lives? What is happening? Each one of us has a unique and beautiful story. Start listening to your story by paying attention what's around you. There isn't anything toxic. It's showing up for you so that you can see something. Is there something here that needs to be healed? Was I triggered by this? Was I hurt by that? What is it that's showing up for me? Is this a joyful moment? And why? Why was that joyful for me? We were smelling essential oils today, and it was trippy because it was triggering memories, some of them past life memories. And so things are showing up for you in your reality, the things you're looking at. I mean, if we played a game here where, I'm staring at my wall and Erica's staring at her wall, we could probably both tell you something that is showing up for us that is a trigger or a memory or something. And why? Why is that there? Why is that happening? And we'd be able to find something for you. So play with it.
Yeah.
The world's a game. Go play.
It is. It's a really fun game. And it is a beautiful existence. It is. And this is where the positivity comes into play. Because when you can have this perspective towards life, no matter regardless of what's going on. And it's like, be accepting of those things that come that are difficult, right? And say, okay, I'm allowed to feel this way now.
Yeah.
I do, as a whole, live my life in a certain way. That does not mean that I am not allowed to feel anger, grief, depression, anxiety, all these other things. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I have trained myself to be able to see a different perspective, right? To help myself along my journey, to help myself float along a little easier. Because if I'm always focusing on the negative aspect, right? This is bringing up something else. I had a client yesterday who did not want to look at any of the negative stuff in her life. She's had a lot of traumatic experiences. And while that's completely understandable that we don't want to look at it sometimes because it hurts us or we have certain emotions surrounding it, I said to her, and she said to me, I don't want to focus on that stuff. And I said, I understand that we don't want to focus on it, but we do need to look at it. We have to look at it because unless you look at it, it's going to stay in there. And is that where you want to keep it? Festering in there?
Right.
That's what it's going to do. You have to look at it so it can come out and be released.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Feelings want to be felt.
Yeah.
And you are not your feelings. They don't define you. You're just in an experience. So, a lot of people that I've worked with, and even myself included, when you dig down deep enough into certain things, we live from a place of shame or guilt or fear. And then we try to bury it, mask it, hide it instead of dealing with it. Yep. And when you can let the feeling be felt, the hurt, the anger, the pain, the fear, then it can move, it can do something, it can leave, you don't have to hold that feeling anymore. It's like the shackles get dropped off.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you won't know how good it feels and how light it feels and how different you feel until you do it. Until you actually take a really good look at it. And let me tell you something. This is probably the most positive thing you could possibly do for yourself is looking at the ugly parts, right?
Yes, the shadows.
Yeah.
Love the shadows, and your whole
Yeah.
life will change.
Yeah.
Your whole life will change.
Look at those parts you don't want to look at. And literally, if you don't, it will make you sick. Like this, the session I had yesterday, she was physically having to release this stuff. She was vomiting in the middle of her session because she was physically releasing this stuff. And when I asked why, they said that if we didn't make it physical, she would have never done it. And she can't hold on to this anymore. It is holding her back so much. And we want her to move along her path.
Oh, yeah.
It is so important.
Spirit, universe, they want us to have the best lives we can possibly have. And that is part of our journey is to navigate through this stuff. And when we can love those parts of ourselves, all of those parts that work so hard and, felt the disappointments, the anger, the hurts and pains, when we can love those parts of ourselves that reacted that way, because we've been taught not to. We've been taught that's shameful. That's don't act like that. You have anger issues. You have this or that. But when you sit with it and you let it move through, all of a sudden it's like it's not building up like a volcano, and it turns out you don't have issues at all. And so, so just be real with it. And that's what we came here to do.
Yeah. Just being our true, authentic selves. And we've been talking about this so much lately, just doing you and shining your light and not making any apologies for who you are, and letting it be okay. And it's okay to be vulnerable because that is really where your strength is. It really is. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. And it's such a beautiful thing. And again, you're not going to know it until you do it, until you really just allow yourself to do it. Yeah. And so yes, this whole concept of positivity, there is a time and a place, right, for everything. And I think that positivity as an overall general way to be is the most beautiful way to go along your spiritual journey. And it's not going to hold you back. But we also have to know that being positive all the time when things get rough is not the way to be either. And there's balance in everything. And so I don't think I want to hear any more of the word toxic before positivity because it's a misunderstanding. And I hope that makes sense. Or spirituality, yes. And I hope that makes sense now. That yes, there are many who have heard these topics and have misunderstood them and have taken it in a way and have tried to force themselves or control their own emotions in this way. And force and control, again, is not the way to flow. The way to flow.
Not working. It's not working.
Yeah. So just, and also I'm thinking when something really bad happens to us, we've talked about this before. It reminds me of Carolyn Mace. She talks about, share your woes 3 times, share your story, have yourself be heard. So you're heard 3 times. And after that, now you let it go. Now it's time to instead not carry that woe anymore, but turn that woe into wisdom. And that's what you carry forward. That's wonderful. That's the positivity. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's all I have to say about that.
That's good juice.
It is good juice. I like some good
I'll
juice.
drink that juice.
Spicy juice.
Nice. Okay.
All right, you guys. This was fun.
It was great.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Tracy.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah.
Love it.
I always love it. I don't have to twist her arm too much, so.
Never. What? There's a microphone? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Turn that on. Let's talk.
Turn that on. We should have been recording this. So.
That's what we did earlier. We started talking, and then we said, shh, wait, we'll just turn on the mics. Yeah, so that's what we did.
That's right. You guys are hearing it raw right here.
Exactly. That's all you're going to get out of me, I think, anymore is some good rawness, some good raw vulnerability. And I think that's what we all need right now. So
yeah,
I love you all. I'm sorry. If there's ever something that I say that you don't like, I'm here just being me and loving you all. And, it's okay when that kind of stuff happens. People are going to say stuff that we don't like. And
that's where we get to learn how to just let go of our own judgments. And I get to let you be you. You get to let me be me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like that. And sometimes you won't like what I do.
Right.
And it's good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's focus on the parts that bring us together.
Exactly. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love you all so much. I think we're going to leave you with a really fun song for today. And it's a very special song to us too. So this is Pharrell, Happy. Until next time, love you all.
Because we're happy.
We are.
Bye, everybody.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.